All right. The Pluto caves. Gosh, let me see if I can capture this. There were two spaces, two areas, places I could be where I felt at this time like perfect, relaxed, a sense of inner peace, a place of I could just be fully exhale. And there are two conditions that had to be met. One, I was on top of something very, very high. Like if I climbed to the top of the mountain, the top of the tree, as high as I could get, and I could see in all directions, that was so relaxing and calming to me to be able to see in every direction as far as I could. Like I could see anyone coming. And I was just top of a fire lookout on top of a mountain ridge, top of Mount Shasta, the very top of things that are very high. I would just sit there and be so incredibly relaxed and just I can see you coming. You can't get to me without me seeing you. The other condition, the place I felt really peaceful was, in a cave. There were a lot, like I mentioned earlier, I love climbing through caves and the canyons in San Diego, but up here, believe it or not, 90 minutes from where we live, south as the crow flies, there's Mount Shasta, which is actually still an active volcano. Beautiful, huge mountain, Northern California. It's a volcano, but all the surrounding areas, all very volcanic in nature. And the Pluto Caves, which is just outside Tamarika, we would hitch rides with friends or whoever's going out that way and end up out there on occasion at these giant lava caves. And you could climb out there and climb down in huge cathedral rooms, all lava. You go down inside and the rooms went in. You can go 20, 30, 40 minutes hiking into the cave, and you bring all your sources of light with you. And, it's fun exploring, and you go way in there and people get freaked out, but you keep going. And I loved going in there. I loved going in there. And then I loved going in there alone. There was something about getting back there, going back further than you've ever gone before, getting all the way to the back wall. And the Pluto Caves are known that if you go all the way in, as far as they go there are dead ends. There was called the wormholes, and there are holes in the wall, and these are little lava tubes that go anywhere from like a meter across down to maybe 18 inches in diameter, and you can crawl into these holes. And remember, you're already pitch black because you're 30, 40 minutes into the cave already. But you're going from like an 8-foot, 10-foot, 20-foot ceiling down to these little tubes, and you crawl in, you wiggle through them, and they vary in diameter as you go, and they get bigger and smaller. And you go, and you can go hours wiggling through these tubes. They're called the wormholes. And I would go out there by myself, make it through the Pluto Caves and get to the wormholes and wiggle in, and they fork and they split and they dead end and they go straight down and they do all these crazy, insane turns. It's a claustrophobe's nightmare scenario. And I would get way in there, further than I've ever gone. And then I would sit there and turn off all my light sources. And I would think to myself, no one in the whole world knows where I'm at. God, there was something so peaceful about that to me. And I remember even at early ages just being, I love that spot. Those very high spots, or those deep down in the crevices of the earth spots. Two places where I felt completely safe and just could relax. And that's every parent's nightmare as your kid wanders into a cave. But I sought that out, and I went down there, and I remember going with a bunch of kids one time. Like there's 4 of us, and we're going through the Pluto Caves, and of course 2 of them were always sketched out by it. And we had chem light, flashlight, and you had matches and to make fire. You always put that 3 sources of light. So we're going back in there, and we get to the wormholes, and let's go. And so we kept going in, and of course the 2 people are getting scared, getting freaked out, but we kept egging them on, keep going, and the holes are getting tighter and tighter. And there's this one section that you had to really wiggle through, and you had to like exhale your air, scoot a little bit, shallow breaths, exhale your air, scoot a little bit. You made it through and it widened up and you keep going. And then I hear some commotion as the people following us to the holes, and as you keep going far enough, it widens up to like, a meter, maybe meter and a half, and you kind of turn around in this tight space and kind of work your way back. What's going on? Why? Who's yelling? One of the larger kids, like bigger, girthier kids, had come to following us, got wedged in the hole and couldn't make it further, couldn't go back. And so, you were turning yourself around. We were all kind of turned around and you're talking to him, calm down, because you hear him hyperventilating and getting freaked out. And he's getting, tears and calm down. Like he can't go up forward, you can't go back. And this guy's blocking the tube that we got to get out of. And, we got some light sources, but they're limited. And I remember getting everybody out of the way and getting situated. And I went scooted up next to him. And I'm talking to this kid, trying to calm him down because he can't come. And I'm trying pulling on him for a while and tugging on him. He's not moving. And I'm realizing the more I'm tugging, the harder he's getting wedged in there. And you hear his breath's getting shallower. And I'm realizing if he passes out, it's gonna be bad. And I remember telling him, "You gotta calm down, man. Because if you get stuck in this hole, we're gonna have to slit your wrists and bleed you out so you'll fit, so we can pull you out, so we can get out of here." And that, of course, didn't calm him down. But I was really beginning to think that this guy being stuck in the hole is gonna be a problem. So we ended up getting him out. I had to go out, work my way backwards out of the hole, turn back around, come back down, and wedge myself in. And then I would press with my heels against his head and shoulders and slowly push, like a piston, push him out of the hole backwards. He had to keep going backwards. And it took us a long, long time to get him to a point where he could flip around and crawl out. And he was all scraped up. He was almost hysterical. He thought he was going to die. And it did cross my mind then that if he died, it would be a big problem for us to get out. But that was just one of the many, many close calls. There were many times going into those wormholes that, when I decided to turn around and I go back, and it's a dead end. And I try to go back, and it's a dead end. And I just have to, this is impossible. It's not impossible. We're going to find a way. And this is a dead end. And keep finding dead ends, trying to find your way out of the wormholes. But all of that were exercises in you staying calm and working the problem. But yeah, the Pluto caves, man. Two things I realized about me were being in those two spots, super high or super deep. I found peace in those places. The Pluto caves, Northern California, during those years, man. Whew.
If you've made it this far, it means you're hungry for more. I got 3 things for you. Click on the links below. For 1, get on our mailing list. You can pre-order the book coming out this summer. 2, our Patreon account. You get tiered access to exclusive content. And 3, visit our social media sites. There's a lot out there I want you to see. Do it. Do it now.